Welcome to Montreal, Canada for Season 7 of one of the most exclusive tournaments in poker. One league, 6 heats, and 12 players, all with one goal, to make it to the final table of the Party Poker Premier League. Welcome to Montreal, where the Premier League is in town. The stakes are high at the Playground Poker Club. The aim is to earn a seat at the final table. Each player plays 4 heats to amass as many points as possible in the league stage. The top 4 gain automatic promotion. The 4 runners-up clash heads-up in the playoffs for the final 2 spots. Points mean prizes here at the Premier League.
This is not normal poker. This is like fun, style, points, like this and that. I'm 100%.
Wow, you're so sick. Makes me so mad.
It's like unreal.
Sick.
Are you kidding me?
Premier League stuff is sick, bro.
The Premier League is a unique format that always throws up some surprises and always features the biggest names in the game. Season 7 is no different. Last time, Heat 1 played out and got the league stages off to a flying start. Jesse May reminds us of how it unfolded.
Our first 8 players arrived at the Playground Poker Club, but only one would win all the chips and take maximum points to top the league.
Try my best and I'll get back at it.
If you don't flop it, it's done.
That's a good flop.
It's like unreal.
How do I get out of this place?
Good luck, boys and girls.
I lost a bunch of hands that I was all in, and that's just how it goes.
What the insane.
A sick feeling just rushed through my body, and I just had a bad feeling about this, and then boop, the 10.
You can play your way to the win.
I haven't done that in a while, let me tell you.
Probably played mostly well.
Okay. That's a fair fight. So that's that. I feel like that's that.
Great game, man. Played really good.
Jeff Gross, on his debut in the Premier League, takes down Heat 1 as his tight as right strategy leads him to top points. Now in Heat 2, Jungleman, Scott Seiver, and Brian Rast return, and points are a must for the bottom 2 to keep their dreams alive here in Montreal.
Dan is the current champion of the Premier League, hoping to take a second title in a row. How are you feeling going into your first heat?
You know what? This year I actually feel a little pressure. Last year I felt like I had nothing to lose, didn't expect anything. So after winning last year, I feel a little pressure on myself. I'm going to keep the same, strategy as last year, which we all know is to just try to get top 3 each round. And hopefully I'll get the same result. But I don't like the feeling of pressure, but I'm used to it, so I'm ready.
Everyone always watches the current champion, and we're going to be watching you. Good luck.
Well, hopefully I'll be right back up there.
Heat 2 is going to kick off, and you can't do any better than Jeff Gross did winning Heat 1. Jeff, it was your Premier League debut. Was it everything you expected, or did something about the format surprise you?
Yeah, I think the format I had done some studying, watched last season, a couple other seasons, just seeing how strategy-wise what I wanted to do, and it didn't really surprise me much, and I tried to treat it like a sit-and-go, playing very tight, as Phil Laak, I think, would say, a little too tight.
It seems like tight is right, but what about for the 4 guys coming back today for Heat 2 that had bad scores at Heat 1? You got Phil Laak, you got Brian Rast. They could be in trouble.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the most interesting to see is Scott Seiver and even Koon, who was pretty unlucky 2 times with having 4-1 leads. These guys need points, Rast in particular. So it's going to be interesting to see if they tighten up or if they put the pedal to the floor. Scott, I just don't see those guys just sitting back. So I think there's going to be some interesting action, and definitely very important result, obviously, for the bottom finishers in this coming heat.
It's Premier League. Tactics come into play starting right now.
If Jesse and Jeff Gross are correct, then we have another mouth-watering game in store for us. So without further ado, let's get those cards in the air for the second heat of the Party Poker Premier League.
Each heat of this Premier League will have a different feel, not just because of the point structure, of course, which will dictate a lot of the tactical decisions, but the makeup of each heat, slightly different seats, slightly different personalities, and while the first heat maybe seemed like a little staid and solid, this feels like hyper-aggressive. You've got Vanessa Selbst there.
10 of hearts explode.
She is undoubtedly the most aggressive, successful poker player on the circuit today, and it's going to be quite exciting to watch her in action, especially sitting on the left of Jonathan Duhamel, who is not shy with the old left arm himself. Very interesting to see how Brian Rast and Scott Seiver do. Rast, of course, with only 1 point, and Scott Seiver getting the bagel. Classical strategy would probably dictate that those guys play quite tight to try and ensure they get some points.
No rebate.
Whole check. Seat 6 call, 5,000.
No rebate. I put this in knowing that it wasn't 400 or 4, whatever that number is, 1,000.
It is really the biggest weapon you have if you're Scott Seiver and you know that Jungleman is going to be aggressive on your left. You say, well, listen, I'm not going to be able to have the weapons to stop him. Let me try and convince Phil Laak
Ace of diamonds exposed. Seat 3
to do the same. And well, that's a pretty loose call by Laak there on the button.
Seat 6 check.
Strong. It could be strong. Was it strong? Struggle?
It's fine. Good check.
Seat 3 check.
No, I did not say check.
Okay,
That's infuriating. I'm going to
Don't say that's. Calm down. You have some anger. Why should you get mad?
I should get mad because like this stuff happened to me all day yesterday, and I obviously did not mean to check.
Yeah, and that's why the action's on you.
You probably shouldn't even remotely use that word when the action's on you.
I think that's a good way to look at it, yeah.
Of course, and you should not talk to me that way.
I should talk to you that way, actually, because you're a raging douchebag.
And I
you
think
are a
the
raging
temper's
douchebag.
flaring right now.
Why is that? Because you're incredibly arrogant.
Make sure it's going, right?
I guess I have to fold. I mean, he would never have that conversation.
Oh, God, where's Antonio?
I think I should not be nice to you.
Why not?
Or not nice all the time to you.
Oh, just
in both of the last 2 seasons of the Premier League, Scott Seiver, Jungleman, they did have a little bit of a repartee going on. It got a little bit heated in season 6, and then last night, the first heat, they were both on best behavior. It was all smiles. Well, the gloves are off.
Chip leader just applying that pressure.
This is classic.
Seat 3 raise 6,000.
It'll be really interesting. We've already seen that the Jungleman looks like he intends to be a a little bit aggressive today. He's got, the most points on the table, and especially him sitting on the left of Rast and Seiver. That's pretty significant because those guys can't really afford to be. They can't afford to go out early.
Very near close to qualifying. It's hard to qualify,
These guys have already seen Jungleman be aggressive, so I mean, what a spot for him to pick up aces right now because these guys are thinking that Jungleman is just going to try and just try and rob everybody.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's pretty nice to see those birds.
I'm just saying. I don't know if you guys happened to see. He ran psycho bluff after psycho bluff, just in case anyone didn't watch the coverage.
Already finished third.
They all worked because there was a table with no backbone because I busted.
So you said they wouldn't work.
No back.
Sounds like they
Oh
didn't.
wow, look at this.
They didn't.
But Seiver really does have one of the best banter games in poker, doesn't he?
It's great. I'll be honest. Scott, I've gotten to know in the last couple year, and at first when I met him, I didn't really like him, but he's grown on me a lot, and he's funny and he's a really nice guy. And him and Jungle should have to play every heat together because it's just good as it gets.
Yeah.
And look, he
They're
wins
maybe like the Laurel and Hardy of poker. They just keep giving it to each other.
Average 2 per hand. But they have all the information because it's a different 2 piece.
It's
a different 2 pieces.
Sometimes it says what people's hands
Sometimes it's what the board was, sometimes it's what the action was, sometimes it's what people had in their hands.
No, it hasn't been quiet so far. These guys are just talking. But I feel like there's a game plan behind Seiver's banter right now, and it's that he wants to convince the others that they have to slow down the Jungleman, because he knows that if the Jungleman gets chips on his left, it's going to make it really hard for him.
Absolutely. No, Scott always knows what he's doing. He doesn't just talk the talk. You know, he's like Antonio. He's got a plan for what he's saying.
Jungleman, whatever the hell the numbers are. 17?
Seat 6 raise, 5,500. Phil, just got to put your cards side by side. Yeah, all right. Good.
Yeah, I mean, Koon, Rast, and Seiver, you know, because they're both, all three of them are playing the first 2 heats. Any one of those 3 goes out 7th or 8th in this heat.
Jungle might already have twice.
You know, they're all of a sudden going to be in a position where they basically have to win one of the last 2 heats.
Physical check.
Oh, I thought Vanessa just called. I see she raised. See, this is something where Phil, I think he probably didn't even want to open the 4s. Like, I mucked a couple, like, really small pairs early position, and so I'm pretty sure this is like his nightmare scenario.
The exact
Vanessa, who's aggressive and great player, is 3-betting him. He literally, I'm pretty sure he's going to fold, but he actually might set mine, but he actually probably should at this level with the blinds, but like he's just going to lose the hand every time unless he hits a 4. So it's like he knows 1 out of 9, 8.5, whatever, he's going to hit a set, and he may go for this one, but I think he misses a 4 here. You're going to see him not call anytime someone 3-bets him. He's really going to shut down. So this is an important pot for him mentally. I feel like if he gets a 4 here, he's going to. It's going to be big.
The exact words he said to me was, dude, I am so folding deuces through 6s under the gun because they just don't play well. And here he is, first chance, you know.
Yeah, he's never winning this pot. It's impossible. He's going to win this one about 1 out of, maybe never, actually 0. I'll say he wins this 0 out of 100.
When you look at the seat draw here, it is, you know, going to be very significant with Vanessa being on Laak's left because she is someone who likes to 3-bet a lot, and you have to come up with a plan for that. Laak likes to open a lot of pots, but I think he's going to really have to adopt the sort of strategy where he's either going to start opening less or 4-betting more, because Vanessa is going to be on him like a rat.
Vanessa's actually, I'm surprised she didn't bet, but you know, Phil's just not going to win this hand. There's just, unless the 4 comes, he's going to get to hit a 4.
Because she's really going to be able now, she kept in all the hands that beat her on the flop, and she actually might get a street of value here. She bets
yeah, this comes a low, a deuce, or a pairs the board. Phil may actually lead out. But he's not, he just can't win the hand.
To be honest with you, they didn't update.
No, and I think he's in there's 37,000 in there. He's in danger of calling and paying off,
He might actually, I don't know. I could see him losing some chips here, even though that's just, I don't like where this is going for him.
She is so betting like 25,000 on the river.
Did he check? If he check, I think maybe he's playing a check call now with this run out. I mean, everything missed.
The worst thing he could do right now is make a blocking bet,
that's
because,
what he's gonna
do. She's good enough to actually.
Oh man. You know what? He's
in trouble, isn't he? He's bet quite small. I think she might be.
Seat 7 call.
Yeah, she called. She's not.
She wasn't going to raise there.
Right.
Actually, I think Phil's going to consider that a victory, because she would have probably bet more on the river had he checked, don't you think?
Maybe, yeah, but here he is probably thinking, man, I know to play tight.
No,
and this is true. This is what I'm already in there, out of position with a low pair, and this is going to matter. You'll see, he's going to be fold. Even if he's going to fold, he's going to fold more than he was planning, I think.
I don't mind.
I will say Phil's one of the smartest people I've ever met, and you know he's definitely capable of executing his plan today. Oh my God! Oh wow! This is definitely deviating from the plan.
Fold.
This is officially deviating.
I could have, for example, free-rolled.
You know, not only did he say about 6 times yesterday that he was going to play as tight as he'd ever played, but it was 5 minutes before this thing started. I wished him luck, and he told me how tight he was going to play.
I can't believe that. I can't.
He's already
this
played
is awesome.
the king deuce. The
Here he is.
under
Here
the
he is,
gun.
oversuited. Oh, he's. I mean, Duhamel's gonna. Oh wow, Duhamel just calls.
Nice.
Interesting.
I can see a lot of.
What do you know about Jonathan Duhamel?
Yeah, he's great. I mean, he's definitely one of the more respected players. I know in the Premier League I watched last year, he's got 3 bets, 4 bets, and he knows how to mix it up, and he's got a really good feeling. Here's Phil.
Wow.
Oh my God.
This is such a fold, isn't it?
I actually can't believe what I'm seeing. This is honestly. This is unbelievable. I just can't. This is not. This is like extra Phil Laak to like. This isn't even like. No, this is like above normal, and he's doing the opposite way he says, and he's just never winning this hand again.
You don't think he has some plan that he wants to intentionally get a bagel here?
I can't believe this. I actually can't believe what I'm seeing. This is amazing. He looks a little tired.
Duhamel's going to stuff him here, right? I mean,
Duhamel's never folding, probably raising, but against Phil, he may think Phil has like 10s or jacks,
and is willing to get it in. Because tactically here,
I think
you don't really want to get it all in on a flip if you're Duhamel, and this is your first.
But also,
team.
Phil, he knows Phil will probably fold 10s or jacks in the spot.
Right.
I think that's what he thinks, but he could just call. He actually has almost too good a hand. Like if he hits an offsuit king or I don't know. It's interesting. I'm not sure if he's trapping Phil or if he thinks he's drawing.
That raise Phil should have been doing with a minimum of a set, right? I mean, the raise that Laak made there, he either should have a set or a flush, pretty much.
This is like these are the worst spots ever when you're at like a televised table. You're doing something a little creative, and now it's just like he's lost in this. And now he's got 10 high, and Duhamel's got top.
If he wanted to get Duhamel off the hand, he had to barrel. He can't get him off on the river, can he? I mean,
he's not. He can't win the hand. He again, there's no line Phil's taking unless Duhamel bets and he shoves, and even then, I mean that might work actually, but Phil's just never, ever doing that.
Do you think Duhamel might ask to see Phil Laak's hand after this?
No, I think Duhamel has Phil on like 10s.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So like I think he's deciding because I think if he just thinks if he checks, Phil's just going to check back, so he has to bet. I mean that's what he's going to do, and probably bet pretty small.
Isn't that a problem, Jeff? I mean, if you want to run a bluff on this hand, you actually need to have the ace of diamonds in your hand. Like, you can't really...
Oh, my God. Is Phil...
You can't run a... Like, what can he represent here?
He's just folding.
Can't believe I'm folding this.
Fold?
Oh, Phil.
This
is amazing. I just can't believe it. I just don't. The 10-8 open is psychotic to me for a tight strategy. That's just like the pair. Okay, I don't even hate how he played the pair because like.
Do you think he told so many people that he was going to play tight that he thought, well,
I don't think he told anyone else he was going to play tight. I think he truly, genuinely wanted to do that and believes that. And now he could get in a spot now where his stacking's going to be short and he's going to have to, at some point, like if you're going to play tight, you want to stay around you want to hover around the 300, pick up a pot or two. And you can do that, but all of a sudden you deviate. Now I don't know what his stack is now. It's probably like 230 or okay. So Phil has.
He's the short stack. He's got
220. So I mean, that's a disaster start. So even if you want to play tight and the blinds go up, all of a sudden you fall down to that 170, 180, and you haven't played a hand now. It's really hard to get something going. So I'm rooting for Phil. I hope Phil turns around. To be honest though, he's getting these hands and sit and goes are the worst. When you get ace jack off, 7s, 8s, 9s, they're tough because they're hands you have to, like 7s you have to play, like you just have to. So but these are awkward spots, and now here Jason, who's plays essentially perfect post flop, has an amazing flop here, and it's going to be again really hard for Phil to win this hand.
I thought Jason's attitude was incredible. He got really unlucky yesterday, but he's come in here very optimistic. He still feels like he's got a great shot in this. He's really got a good poker philosophy in mind, isn't he? He's like
he's great. Yeah, we went to the gym today, and he was ready to go. Phil's actually going to probably win this hand with this board run out.
So he's considering a value bet here, yeah. And this might not be the easiest fold in the world for Jason, or because of the way he played the hand,
I think Jason also his instinct might be to raise, but it's interesting having the low points. It makes you a little less risk averse, and I don't think he's going to put in a big raise here, but he could easily make it like 46,000. 42,000. And that, I don't know if that would work against Phil.
This is, I think, what I love most about Laak's game is that he knows how to make these sort of polarizing bets. I mean, this bet is basically full pot size. You know, it's 16 into 17 he's bet. And, you know, Koon may have just called automatically if it was like, if he'd bet half pot. But he's kind of made that big bet. You know, it makes things trickier, doesn't it?
Yeah. I think Koon has a pretty good idea what he has and isn't sure if he can bluff him off it. I'm pretty sure he knows where he's at. He may be thinking, does he have an ace-jack?
Random.
So random, he said. That is kind of what Laak does best.
Right, yeah.
He's so random.
Off, but
you know, because this size bet, you know, traditionally you would say, well, he's either got like a 10, a 9, or nothing. Laak's done this with 2 7s.
I guess it looks like Jason's just thinking of calling. He's not going to take this long and raise. Like he's not that kind of guy. Looks like he's thinking of hero calling. I just can't imagine him doing this and then saying that and raising. He's thinking I might have the best hand. He might have King Jack with 1 diamond, King Queen. Yeah.
I kind of think you have to call there because Laak has been so erratic so far.
That's going to give Laak a little confidence. That's a huge hand for Laak. If Jason bets that flop, he's going to pick up this pot.
This season's Premier League has 7 familiar faces returning to the lineup.
Play bad, get lucky. Now I can maybe fold.
Let's just have a moment of silence, please, a moment of quiet.
If I thought that then, I gotta go with it.
I thought I was making a really good bet.
Look at how good I am.
You are so good.
I'm so good.
I love it. Sick. Sick.
The money flows free in Montreal.
Season 7 has 5 new faces making their debuts here at the Premier League.
I'm a sicko. I love the banter so much.
It's like unreal. This is like ridiculous.
You got all the tricks.
Gotta keep you guessing over there a little.
You brought the monkey out of me because you're such a monkey.
Punishing poker gods for this call, because I don't know if it's right.
Nowhere to breathe, nowhere to hide, no room here. Playground Poker Club outside of Montreal. Duhamel, of course, big hand against Laak. He's the chip leader. And Jason Koon, Phil Laak trailing. Basically, even though Scott Seiver has kept up the banter game, he's yet to move a chip, and neither has our defending champion, Dan Shak.
I'm really, I'm curious with Rast. I think this is his first time in Premier League. He's probably one of the smartest, brightest, poker players there is. He's a great high stakes cash player. He's incredible player, but I actually had a feeling he might struggle with the format just because it is sit and goes, and he loves playing hands. So like I noticed yesterday he was caught in some weird spots. I think Rast is honestly one of the best players in the world, but in this format, I don't know. I'm just curious if he adjusts or not.
I think you got it right because I think like Scott Seiver, he knows how to adjust. He knows exactly what he's supposed to do now, and I think you're right. Rast might rebel against it in a sense because it doesn't fit his natural style of how to play.
Rast loves playing post flop, and I think this kind of format, it's a little, you don't want to be doing that too much.
Absolutely. By the way, Phil Laak could lose some chips here. A horrible flop for him and a worse turn.
And against Vanessa.
Yeah, blind on blind.
That's why Vanessa's so tough. She's so aggressive. She plays so many hands, right? She gets you in these spots where like you have a hand like this where normally you might not want to play a big pot, but Phil's got to think he has the best hand here.
And he's going to have a real problem not now, but if he calls this bet, the river is a problem. Because, you know, the river.
Yeah, I'll look it up.
I mean, Phil
could be 60,000.
Phil's getting some bad spots. He wants a club or something to slow this down. If it's like a, I mean, that actually might slow the action down a little. She's gonna value him though.
She is. She's too tough to check.
She's too good. She knows Phil's probably not checking.
Who shows first here?
Oh, okay.
Wow, she did check, and
I'm surprised she checked. But
when she sees his hand, she's going to feel like she let something get away there.
I think it's fine. I'd probably check back there, but I mean, some players would go for value. Obviously, that card wasn't. It was a medium card. I think if it's like a king or any queen that's offsuit club, she's going to get some big value there. So I think Phil got bailed out a little, and she just didn't want to get check raised. So yeah, he's got to feel actually okay about that. That could have been way worse.
I feel like Phil Laak would know the answer to this. Phil, why when someone yawns do other people yawn?
Dan Shak, this is a guy who I've actually never played a hand with. Played a lot of same tournaments, high rollers. We've never got matched up. I feel like he gets. He has great results, so I don't know. I can't I hear people say
it's a mystery. Everyone's always like, how does he win?
But like
he sits in there, he plays solid poker.
Here it is. Like these are the kind of things. Like he's not getting the ace jacks, the ace queens. Like when I see him in pots, he's got like suited jack tens. He has pot. You know, he's hitting sets. He has ace kings. He has kings. Like he gets big hands, and people 3-bet him.
Yeah, Duhamel's 3-bet him here with the ace 3.
Oh man, this is great. This is just fun to watch. So this is. Is he just gonna call? I think he should 4-bet here, but
I think it's more in his style to push his big hands.
Yeah. Especially he knows Duhamel's aggressive. He is aware of how Duhamel plays.
Yeah.
But again, this is a spot where it's pretty easy, right? Like now, if Duhamel were to puts in another raise, it's tough. But like in this spot, it's just pretty easy. Like if he has ace queen off, you're not going to see him probably do this. If he has ace jack suited, it's a tough spot, right? But like here he is, he's getting top of his range. Ace kings, king, these kind of hands are like, they're pretty easy to play. You can be comfortable to put in this raise.
Right,
like,
and, you know, we saw a lot of spots in the heat number 1, Jeff, where guys were actually, they were not 4-betting with ace kings. In some cases, they weren't even 3-betting with ace king. But this is a little bit of a different matchup. You know, Shak likes to push his big hands. He's not scared of them.
I'm actually very interested to see what Duhamel does here, because he's
not just a 3-better. Duhamel's a 5-better,
he's got that
isn't
next
he?
gear in him.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of guys, the 4-bet is like the brink, but he's capable. But he also knows that he knows Dan is not gonna likely be light here, right?
Reigning champion Dan Shak takes down his first pot of season 7 as he looks to defend his title.
I'm Dan Shak. I'm a part-time poker player, full-time businessman. Obviously, an event like this, I'm going to put the poker in front of work. Most of the time, I put work in front of poker. In 2010 in Australia, I was able to get heads up with Phil Ivey and the high roller there and managed to come out ahead. What more confidence can you possibly get in poker than, you know, winning a tournament where you're facing Phil Ivey heads up? I think by far the toughest tournament I've ever played in was the last Premier League. No pro has gone back-to-back in the Premier League. So for an amateur to be able to go back-to-back, you know, other than winning the main event of the World Series, I think there could be no achievement that I would want more than that.
Who were the people when you saw what the lineup was that you thought, okay, these guys are going to be really tough? Anyone at this table that you thought, hey, you know, that's going to be a player that's going to do really well in this format?
I mean, that's the thing. There really are no players I'm like, oh, I want to play with them.
Spots.
But Vanessa Selbst is, I think, the wild card, because I think she's one of the most talented. But I'm a little surprised at a couple of her plays so far, and I just don't, she's not really, this is like a sit and go stuff again, so I don't know if she can make the adjustment. She's super smart, and I think she's capable. Can we just pause for 1 second? Is this really happening? I mean, this is definitely not the plan. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if he just like whatever. I mean, it's just, this is unbelievable. This is like something I would never do. He should never do. I just
Isn't one of your favorite things about Phil Laak his capability to surprise?
Yes.
I mean, no matter what you expect, he just never produces what you expect. He can, you know.
Oh wow, he has the flush draw here. Oh man, top two.
Top two.
Oh, the only better card than the 9 of clubs instead of the 7, and this is about as much action as you can get.
And I guess the real question is
seat 7 check.
Well, I was going to say is how fast Seiver wants to play it.
Oh boy. Okay. Well.
Because Seiver might have fast played that on the flop, you know, check raised and tried to get some money in.
I love this. I love the bet. I love Vanessa's hand. Vanessa's probably going to peel. With this board, Phil's in there peeling, drawing dead.
Oh boy, he is drawing dead.
Phil and Scott.
Everybody's drawing dead.
This is awesome. This is just as good as it gets. Phil could make a big mistake here. This actually might be a raise from Phil.
You know, you feel like he definitely saved money by not betting the flop, but he's in big trouble here.
Yeah, a lot of times when it checks around and the first person to bet the turn is usually bluff, just has nothing. So I think Phil's going with that train of thought here, and he's thinking, I can get an 8 to fold. I have overs if they has like 8, 9 and calls. I mean, this is catastrophe. Scott, I have a feeling Scott will call and check into the very ever so slight head shake.
He's brilliant.
He knows Phil is a live pro. Phil's watching him out of the corner of his eye. The very subtle thing. He's not raising. He's calling, and then it's a matter of I think he might bet small and deuce, or even check it.
Of course, you're right. After he made that head shake, he would never.
But you see how? I mean, it's so beautiful. It was so slight. It was just enough. He's hoping Phil's going peripheral, checking him out. But it's not the over Hollywood, something that whatever. But this is beautiful. I can't. This is.
Well, it's beautiful.
I want to see Phil get off
Laak
this.
might end up being hung out by his neck.
I'm not kidding. This is what I see happening. Seiver's calling. The river, depending what it is, Scott will probably check, and Phil may go crazy here, regardless if he hits a flush or not. I can't imagine him raising.
Now, in Seiver's mind, it's really hard for Laak not to be drawing dead here, because how can Phil have an ace here? I mean, would Phil have checked an ace 3 ways on the flop?
You just called, right?
Yeah.
This is
you know what I'm saying? I mean,
he knows where he's at.
Right.
He knows where he's at.
He knows Laak's drawing dead.
He knows Phil probably doesn't have an ace 90% of the time. Oh God!
No.
If Seiver,
oh my gosh! Vanessa would have made the full house.
Yep, she's killing herself right now. She literally wants to go jump, but she's going to be so happy because this will be shown.
Is Laak out now? Is he about to go out?
Scott, I think Scott might know he has a flush. I don't know if he knows he has a flush. He has to now. This is where it comes down to your reading ability of your opponent. So he needs to be able to, if he puts Phil in his hand, he can get a lot of value here. If he he's going to lead. So I don't think he thinks he has a flush because he wouldn't think Phil would check that back. So he's going to lead and he's going to get called.
So he actually thinks that Laak might have been making sort of a blocking raise with like 10s or jacks trying to get to a cheap showdown.
Phil's just calling here. He's not raising. The board's paired. He has a second nut flush. Phil thinks he miracled the river here. And he's going to be very upset. This is a nightmare. Vanessa is the happiest person in Montreal right now. Look at her.
What a cooler. What a cooler. It's almost like performance art. Scott Seiver, of course, what a huge spot for him. He bagelled heat number 1. He needed a good showing here. He's now chip leader. More from Premier League Season 7 after the break.
When you're in the tank, you can't hide. That's the problem.
Thanks for calling, buddy.
I had a jungle kind of hand.
Jungle, it's on you.
You know how much I like to call.
What did you do yesterday? I bluffed. Okay.
I always level myself against you.
Sometimes I'm not even sure what I'm doing, kid. I look into my soul, I can't even find it. I'm like, what am I doing?
Welcome back. This is the Playground Poker Club in Montreal, where we still have a full table of 8 for Heat 2. It's all about winning points here at the Premier League, and everyone wants to get off to the best start possible with the maximum 14 points. Let's get back to our commentary team led by Jesse May.
There has been fireworks early on, and the happiest player at the table so far is Scott Seiver, who has the chip lead with 423,000. At the other end of the leaderboard, Phil Laak is down to just over 100,000 already, and we are just 15 hands into this second league match.
Fold. 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 Seat 1 raise 6,000.
Oh, this is going. This is going to be this is a big pot. Wow. Talk about, these are two low point total. What is 0 and 1 or 3? What did Rast get last one? 1, right?
Rast got 1, and Scott Seiver has 0.
Oh, this could have big implications for the.
I wonder, with Phil Laak being on such a low point total, I mean, is it automatic for Rast to try and 4-bet to get it in here?
With Phil, you mean with
Seiver? I mean, do you think he might just peel this 3-bet? It's not as easy a decision as you might think, right?
Oh, of course no. There's a lot of levels here
too. Seiver could be light.
For sure. I don't see Rast just calling, but at the same time, he could. Yep, he's going to. Which may throw Seiver off a little. This could end up being this would have maybe got all in, and now it's going to be a pretty likely small pot unless it comes ace-queen or king-queen, which it didn't, so.
It was
C1 check.
I mean, it was in Rast's hands there, because if he wants to 4-bet to get it in, he's basically putting his Premier League on the line, isn't he?
For sure. Well, now see, this is
C2-bet 14,000.
This is not a. This is I love Rast checking there. His hand does not look like ace king, by the way. It's in Seiver's eyes, and Seiver's going to bet there when the ace hits almost all the time. You know, Rast has 2 8s, 2 7s, jacks, 10s, and he's not just going to check and let him get outplayed. So
I think it's cleverly sized, this bet by Seiver, though. It's quite small, so he's not going to lose a lot of money.
This is going to go.
Hand.
Yeah, he's going to bet, and now he's going to earn himself 2 cards here. So Rast is going to check the turn. Scott's going to check behind. He's going to get 2 shots at a queen, and he should check here. I see it going check, and then the river Rast will probably lead, and he may fold or call depending how big.
Yeah, the bet was really so small on the flop that Seiver would almost have to expect Rast to call with almost all his entire range.
Sizing, he could actually fire one more time, but the problem with checking back here for Scott is that he could get bluffed on the river, so he may actually fire one more shell. But 71 in the pot, I expect him to bet like 28 or check, and it just feels like he played it great, got a free card.
The best players are really good at manipulating the pot size to their advantage, aren't they?
And it matters. All the bet sizing on the flop, pre-flop, it's all important. You can kind of dictate how big a pot you want to play. And by this line Rast is taking, Scott is not going to like to check. He could go thin, but it looks like he's going to check back.
C2 check.
Yep.
Do you think Rast missed a bet there, or is he just going to be happy enough to try and take that bet?
I think I like how Rast played it. I think obviously when he sees the cards later, Scott's giving himself
a little pat on the back. Well, if nobody else is going to congratulate him, he will. He does play good. He does play.
Yeah, I mean, I think again that's going through Rast's mind. He didn't want to necessarily get it all. Even if he sees especially if he sees his hand, he's not going to necessarily want to flip there, right?
Right. I mean, neither of those guys really should be wanting to flip, especially when Phil Laak has 113.
For that matter, regardless of your, even say this was me in my second heat, and I wouldn't necessarily want to, that's again what I'm saying. I don't want to just be coin flipping for all the chips, and I would be in a position where I would maybe welcome it a little more, but I don't. That's like you're taking a coin flip, right? To get 0 or maybe, and then kind of be able to run it over. But to me, it's more valuable to be in and be able to keep playing than that. And I actually like how they played that, especially at this small. It's like the first, it's the very beginning. Everyone's still in, and he's not going to get it all in with ace queen. Seiver's not calling off with ace queen.
You're saying it like it's a sit and go, but it's really like a sit and go where you're always on the bubble, no matter what stage it's on, right? Because you don't ever want to be the next one out.
Although I am in the process of having a tattoo removed, and it does not tickle. I'll tell you that.
That's funny.
It hurts.
Something hurts the cream stir.
What's he talking about?
He said he's in the process of having a tattoo removed. And he said it doesn't tickle. It's a real pain. I heard they just got a new
well, you can hurt my heart.
Method for removing it. It's not as painful, but I'm not sure. Yeah. Well, this is interesting. Here's Shak, who's dominated pre, but actually hits kind of a very good flop.
That's right.
So let's see if Shak can just somehow miracle.
Right, so interesting really, because Vanessa's actually raised this under the gun, and Shak, he flatted on the button. So both of those are kind of loose plays, right?
A little bit. This is interesting. These are the spots where most players are not going to win this hand, and Vanessa, if she sniffs it out, that he could have a flush draw. She bets he just can't continue. Obviously, the boards, there's 3. Yeah, she's going to sniff it out, it looks like, and he's going to pitch this. There's just no way he can call.
16,000.
And probably one of the secrets to Selbst's game is that, she's relentless. She picks up those pots because she is never scared to fire her bet in.
Yep. No, and also it's like she's in her mind. She's like, all right, if he doesn't have a king, she knows Shak's going to fold. If he has a flush draw, even the ace high, in his mind, he's like, well, if I hit a flush, the board, if she has a king, I can't hit a flush even. So so she just knows that like his range, unless he has a king there, even if he has like 7s, he's going to fold.
Yeah, I actually, I was predicting that Vanessa was going to do very well in this Premier League because I just feel like she's almost come here with a job to do. In her mind, she's here to do well in the Premier League, and that's all there is to it.
Yep, for sure. No, she's one of the players I would have my money on to do very well.
Call.
Oh wow.
Here we go, Shak, like aces, no problem, man. Someone else has a hand. And again, I'm not discrediting his game at all. I don't really know much about him. I've watched a little. The times, like the blogs or the hands that I've seen.
Raised 20,000.
He's been pretty fortunate in these kind of spots. But with that being said, there's no question he's doing something right. He knows what he's doing. He has good intuition, and his results are extremely impressive. And I would say that he's a good player. I mean, I think he definitely knows what he's doing. He's not like a fish by any means.
He always seems to man up. I agree with you completely.
At the same time, if you were going to take this format, like these 12 players, if you had to rank he's probably.
Well, look, he's the guy who's not the professional poker player, and yet he has results like a professional poker player.
And he's the defending champion in this format, so you got to give him credit.
I Seiver thought about that. I wonder if he considered passing. He certainly is going to give Shak credit, and Shak's in trouble, in big trouble, because Jungleman made a very loose call,
and he's got the ace of hearts here. This is probably going to get in, depending if Jungle slow plays.
Right.
Or not.
I mean, one of the hallmarks to Shak's game is that, from what I've seen, is that he's not a guy to make big folds.
Oh wow.
He gets the aces.
He bet 2/3 pot here.
Yeah.
Jungle. This is interesting. The sick part is it.
If Jungle just might.
Jungle knows. Jungleman knows 2 things right now. He has Shak on aces or ace king. Right. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
He's gonna raise. I think. He knows.
I think they're getting it in. What do you think?
Yeah. I would. If Jungle raises, Dan's just never folding.
I'm all in.
Yeah. He's calling.
Sorry.
He's going all in.
He's calling.
He's going all in.
All in
King
call.
9.
He can't believe it. Now here's where we really get to see Dan Shak. Does he peel the old? Does he get the 3 ball? Does he get the ace? It's going to be a heart, right? At least a heart. Give him the world.
Thanks for calling, buddy.
I had a huge pair.
Huge pair.
There's a lot of bad cards. Oh my God! What did I say?
You were so.
It's just.
You know how to sweat these things in.
It's just like seen this show before. Dan knows. That was one of those.
So hard.
Ace or an ace.
Oh,
Sorry,
the Shak magic might be over. Wow, he feels sick. You can see he's visibly.
does
I didn't
feel
want to bust
sick.
you, Dan. I wanted to bust Seiver.
Now you can.
Now you can.
Oh man, he doesn't. It's like he's never had this happen to him almost. You know?
It really hurts, and I mean, this really throws the Premier League wide open, Jeff, because of course, great news for Koon, for Rast, for Seiver. They needed someone else to get the bagel. Now it's happened, and a quick day for the first heat for Dan Shak. He can come back, but of course, it's gonna be very difficult.
It's pretty sick, yeah.
Obviously, it puts a little pressure on when you get no points the first round, but I can't even say whether I played well or not because I didn't play too many hands, but I'm still confident, and now just have to come back stronger.
Mm-hmm. And there are still 3 heats to go, as you said, so hopefully the cards are a little kinder to you then. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Try and see if he has it or not.
Get the miracle.
So Jungleman now, big chip leader, and what do you think about him calling out there? He said, I didn't want to bust you, Dan. I want to bust him, Seiver. I mean, that's laying down the gauntlet, isn't it?
That's a little aggressive, yeah. I mean, I think at the end of the day, everyone's fairly friendly here, and it doesn't matter. You got to get the chips. It doesn't matter who it is.
But, I mean, a little trash talking's not bad for the
I
Premier
think it's
League,
great.
right?
It's great.
5,000.
Can't knock balance too hard. I just played a full.
Well, I think good.
Well, these are a couple nice hands. Duhamel's definitely playing.
Really?
And 3-betting.
I'll tell you what, Phil Laak actually, I mean, it was a huge result for him. He was nearly nailed on for the bagel, and now he's at least guaranteed 1 point.
The bagel and 1, I don't feel like are any different. I don't know. Like even 3, it's like 3 is like something it could make a difference. But the 0 and 1 is essentially
There's almost 2 bagels.
Yeah.
There's almost 2 bagels.
It really is. The 1 just rarely is going to matter later.
I wish I could do that.
And what do you
Here's Laak again with just an awkward spot. I hope he doesn't call. This is actually a good spot to ship, but like, it's almost aggressive to ship. I mean, and Duhamel 3-bet, right?
Right. Seiver's made this and open with a king 9. Duhamel's 3-bet this to 14. This is shipper fold.
He can't call. He knows that, and he knows that. I think he's gonna pass.
Days worth of tips. I think if you polled a panel of 27 experts,
27 of them would say the same thing?
no.
They take American money?
I don't know
There's
what that
somewhere
thing
between
is, but when all
4
27
and 14 would say go all in. 4 and 14 would say go all in.
I mean, it's
can make it like
not
30
Laak style to ship in for a 4-bet with a little pair.
No one would know.
I know you know Laak very well, but he does surprise you on a regular basis, doesn't he? I mean, doesn't he just come out with the most outlandish things?
Yes. Yeah. He does, but I just don't see him doing that there.
I gotta worry about Seiver and all these other kids. Rast hasn't even looked at his hand, I don't think. Or had he? I don't even know. It's like crazy. Or like,
No, I was the first one to throw
you were the first one to throw away.
Ooh, interesting flop.
I don't know, kid. You know?
Duhamel's probably gonna just pick this up.
Yeah, Duhamel's got a nice little 3-betting game, doesn't he? He can be a little mosquito there. He just kind of buzzes around and you know sticks those little 3-bets in. And I wonder, Jeff, about the dynamic when Duhamel starts making 3-bets and Selbst starts making the 4-bets, and that is going to happen at some point.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
But I'm not sure their history, but I do know Vanessa is also, and Jonathan, they are a little bit. It'll be interesting. There'll definitely be some egos there. See what happens, but I kind of think they maybe tend to stay away from each other a little bit.
Because
like
they know that they're 2 peas in a pod.
They'll 3-bet other guys. But then again, like, who are you going to pick on to like 3-bet? You know, like Jason, you can't. You know, Jungleman does. These guys, it's like everyone here plays so well, so it's like, yeah, we'll see. I mean, I guess they probably will. They will tango.
In spite of losing, I would like to have a chance to gamble with y'all folks again. I really feel that. Things didn't really go my way.
Here often?
Oh, God, I mean, this is like, again, this is just a bad hand. Like, with his stack, he cannot be coming in for a raise here, and he's gonna do it.
He really can't. He really can't.
Seat 6 6,500.
I mean, again, it's unfortunate he's getting these like medium-y hands.
That's hardly a medium-y hand, is it?
I mean, yeah, not even. I'm just saying, like, it isn't. It's on the lower end, but like, it is an ace. It is the ace 5. Like ace 6, Phil's gonna fold. The ace 5, he's talking himself into a wheel draw. They're both black. That's what's going on in his head.
1/5 of a straight.
And here's
flush.
Rast, who just wants to, you know. Oh, did he 3-bet?
Seat 1 re-raise.
Yeah, that's a great raise. I mean, Phil's just
17,000.
He knows how Phil plays. He knows Phil's game.
That's a smart 3-bet. And the fact
I
that
would
Phil
hate it if he
can't
called.
bust him, right?
Then yeah.
Can you tell me what's going on again? I bet he's 17th holding. I'm
17th holding.
Rast, you want it?
He's folding.
Can you tell me what's going on again? I think we better start with Phil. You're in Canada. I think that may be the level we need to work on here.
Is he calling?
Yeah, 1,000 or
Phil, you're in Canada, and the game is Texas Hold'em.
I just want to say this because Phil, again, we talked last night, and Phil, we were saying he's like, you know, your style, like whatever. He was saying how he didn't agree with some stuff. I just hate this play. I mean, I literally I can't think of. I think this is the worst strategy you can have.
And I mean, you know, if he had, this is the perfect flop.
He got bailed out here.
Yeah.
If it comes 3 and if he doesn't have, he has the ace spades, he's just gonna ship it in and he's gonna win.
Right,
Rast
but
has nothing.
Your point, Jeff, is like if Laak had flopped an ace, how happy is he to get it in there?
He can't be.
Yeah.
Or 5. If it comes like 5 deuce 7, like. You're just like he got super bailed out. This is the only one of the only flops where he's gonna win.
Pattern suit.
Color. He has the nuts. I mean, he's just
any
Rast has
play
nothing.
besides all in now would be bad, right?
Yeah, like if Rast has king queen or ace jack, he's gonna call him probably. And now he just happens to have nothing. I mean, if he just calls here, I might walk out of the room. He's gonna go all in though. He doesn't want to play another street with Rast. He literally got. I can't believe how big. I love Phil. I would have loved to see if this came like this flop with not the 3 spades because he's just not going to win the hand. But here he gets to shove it in.
He still has to man up and shove him. He still has to man up.
If you're going to play this bad of a hand and get this flop with your stack, it's just going in.
I don't think anyone.
Seat 6 raise.
All right. Actually, I even like that. I like that he's raising, not going all. You know, it's the same thing, but it looks a little straight.
There you go.
Same. I mean, it's the same thing actually.
Yeah. This is thin value press truth borderline. I didn't really know exactly where I was on that.
Exactly.
I knew where I was. Yeah. At all moments, Rast knew where he was.
Gotta love Phil. Phil could turn this around. You know, I think in his head, I really believe this time he just said as he called ace 5, he was like, "What am I doing right now?" And he's gonna sort it out from here on out. We'll call this phase 2 for Phil today because this is phase 1 has not been ideal.
King Rast, I do love having him as my king now. Even though sometimes he takes more than my wheat when he comes around for taxation time than I want.
It's not easy.
Phil Laak is capable of a wide range of gears, and he can switch at any time. And don't forget, Jeff,
punishing the temptation.
he has done very well in this Premier League.
Yeah, actually,
he knows this format.
Oh, here we go. This is more Phil's speed.
Oh yeah, like right here, Duhamel is going to do something ridiculous.
And he calls. Okay, I like that because Phil. They have Phil pegged right now that he's, he's kind of like a Shak with like his range. Right? So if he 3-bets, they're going to give him credit. He's not 3-betting
might pick
like
up a squeeze behind.
Yeah, for sure. I actually like this. Normally, I would not like this, but because how Phil has been playing and his stack size, right? Like if he 3-bets and he only has those chips, he's not going to get people to peel on him, right? Because they're not. If they even have 7s or 8s, like the value's not there to set mine against him because he doesn't have enough to win. So this is okay. He could actually get himself. He could go bust here pretty easily if it goes 3, 4, 5 way, or 3 or 4 way. But it looks like that was big for him to fold there.
Half turn.
Rast is going to come along with the suited ace. Maybe he might get Rast to 3-bet. This is a 3. Oh,
that's why I'm so flexible.
Oh, he called.
There are no more aces. And there's
not a lot of 7s. He's actually he's a stone lock almost to win the hand other than spades, but it could be he's gonna just win this pot I think because he's gonna in his mind he wasn't gonna fold anyway. So unless someone bluffs, I mean he's just gonna win this pot.
Seat 5 check.
I mean, look at that. Can you have any more? Like, it's hard to have 4-way be more ahead.
Domination.
I don't think I've ever seen 4-way aces.
One pair.
93%. And he has the ace of clubs just in case.
Yeah.
So he probably picked up a little more value by calling. Got the extra guys to come along.
You actually won that one.
Well, not really. I guess he got red. He didn't win much. I mean, that's about all he could do.
So you can't really tell.
It's my fault for keeping him around. Sorry, guys.
If you had checked, that'd be out of the tournament. I have to admit that.
Obviously, the story has really been all Phil Laak so far, down 167,000. Dan Shak, the quick cooler. Jason Koon, 14% V-chip there. He definitely has come in here with an attitude. I mean, Seiver has as well, but he's picked up hands.
Well, look, actually, the stat
has been tight.
The stat that jumps out is Laak, 43% V-chip, who was leading. The guy who's going to be the tightest in the history is leading the V-chip, and his stack is the lowest. So that stat definitely pops out.
Welcome back to the Playground Poker Club for Heat 2 of Premier League Poker. Before the break, Dan Shak was knocked out by Daniel Jungleman Cates, and the defending champion has had a disappointing start. Now 7 players remain. Blinds are up, and Jungleman, who came third in Heat 1, is chip leader after 1 level.
He's got to be feeling good now. He had the 9 points, and now he's chip leader by a lot here. So.
Doesn't he just look a little bit off his game right now? I mean, he just looks a little bit, or is it that just maybe it's his game face?
Yeah, it's hard to tell. I think we'll see in the next couple rounds what happens. But it's going to be, what I think really is interesting if he's going to stay patient and just kind of, see, this is where, in this format, in my opinion, like obviously you can really apply pressure, but this is like where you can, he has such a nice cushion that he can really not like get out of line, because people already think he's out. He doesn't need to build his image, so he can sit back. He's going to get some good hands and play those strong. And he doesn't have to do anything too crazy. He's got a nice stack. He has 9 points, and he can kind of sit back, and he should be able to find his way to top 3 pretty easily here.
I think Vanessa Selbst had to think about a 3-bet from the big blind. She just called it, and now 3 ways to this flop.
Yeah, this is one of those spots where she knows like it's kind of weak to call, and it like look at her at 1%. I mean, it's just hard, right? Unless she hits an ace-8, an 8-8, like she doesn't really like where she's at. She's not suited, not connected. She's out kicked on the ace.
Right.
She didn't really love it, and she's probably just gonna give this up.
I fold, Rasty.
But again, she's in the rare breed of people that just kind of maybe like to win a couple more pots than normal.
Tactically, she knows that Rast is a good guy to put pressure on. But what is she trying? I mean, I guess by calling there, she's trying to represent a king here. Is that what she's trying to do?
No, I don't know. These are the ones where I think she, in her head, she's got a line drawn out. Unless she thinks Rast could have like queen 10, 9, 10. I think she thinks ace high might be good. She's going to find out here, but this is a hand I just, in this format again, in a sit and go with these chips, I just don't see like calling pre, whatever, and then like you just this is just not a good board unless you're really going to try to get creative.
Do you find this a surprising bet on the turn from Rast? I mean, I think there's sort of classically most people would check back the turn and try and get to the river cheaply. He's gone for the double barrel.
Yeah, it's interesting because there's no flush draw. The only draw is really is queen 10, and I don't know. I think that's fine. I would actually prefer. I might prefer check, call the river, because I think she's going to have to bet then, but I don't know. I mean, he doesn't know what she has, obviously.
Right, but, I mean, yeah. He's done it right, hasn't he?
Yeah, I'm surprised she called that. I don't know. She must have just thought ace high was good and maybe shut down on the turn. But.
And he's doing well, Brian Rast. He came in here really having to man up, a terrible seat, I think, and so far he's really held up to the pressure.
Yeah, you want to stay above that 300, and he's sitting right in there. He's right in the mix.
You know, everyone's got 4 heats, right? I mean, it's and isn't it one of the great things about this Premier League that, you know, it's the same people every day, but it's slightly different, so you can kind of come in and be a different person. And
I love that. I love how they did it this time. I mean, I didn't play in any of the previous ones, but I saw, you know, it's 8 all in one heat at the same time. I didn't think that was really fair. Necessarily not even fair, but it just seemed like they should be mixing, but it may be too complicated to mix with 2 and, you know, get everyone to play equal times. But they did a great job here. I think it's really well done, and it's exciting.
Although, as you said, Jungleman and Seiver should be forced to play every heat together.
I think other than that, everyone mixed around, but they should be a pair.
And how is Rast going to play this? This is small blind, big blind.
No, I don't think it is. I think Seiver opened under the gun.
Oh,
maybe?
sorry. Right, you are. So Rast is defended from the big blind.
Yeah. So see again here. This is like a 4-5 off. Rast is going to fold the 4-5 suited. He decided to take a look, and he hit one of the best flops he could hit. And he's definitely going to be continuing. He's either going to check raise or call. I think he's going to opt for the check raise, which is interesting.
And I mean, Seiver doesn't have a strong enough hand to consider anything but calling right now, right?
Yeah, see, again, these are like the ace king or like what. It's easier to play. Here it's like ace 10, even though he's with Rast flatting out of the blinds, he's basically repping 2 pairs. He's repping 6-7, ace-7, ace-6. I'm a little surprised he raised, considering he has backdoor diamonds, an 8 or a 3 could really get him paid. And so like I don't know if he's hoping that Scott doesn't have an ace and he's going to fold. I don't understand. I'm not really sure if I like the raise here, because like he's like he's bluffing. So he's semi-bluffing, but like.
Right, Seiver's smart enough to know
that
you know, Seiver's not folding, so it's like
that it's either a draw or a very big hand.
Right.
Seiver's kicker is never going to matter here. He knows that.
Right. It's also a little. There's no flush draw, so I think Seiver probably has him on 2 pair, 8-9, or 4-5. That's what Seiver's thinking. But then again, that's a wrap kind of in his head. Like there's a lot of scary cards. And that's one of the most interesting cards. It doesn't make Rast, but picks him up even more equity now. I see. How much chips does Rast have? He has just over 330 to start. So
it's also.
I could see him checking here because his hand's so big. But then again, this is actually a card that I think he knows Scott has an ace now. So like he has to decide. Does he bet? He may go for. Yeah. I could see him checking or betting. I think checking makes sense. I think if he had totally whiffed, he might have bet. But this is actually now he's got 2 ways to. He's got the backdoor flush, which Seiver will not see, and this is interesting hand.
Thinking about the tactics of the Premier League, neither of these players should want to be playing a big pot right now. Rast kind of went for it, so now he's slowed down.
I'm very curious what his reasoning to check raise that board is. So now he's got a free card. Scott is not sure where he's at. And now
Seiver will know that's a blank anyway.
Oh yeah, that's a super blank. The deuce was a pretty big blank, other than bringing a flush draw, which Rast happened to have, but did not complete. And I don't think that's even playing a pit. Now Rast is in a super bad spot. He check raises with 5 high, does not get there, gets a nice turn for his hand, and it misses. And now, like, how much is in the pot? 90. He just gives up, and Scott snap checks, hopes he's good.
Right, so maybe Scott, Rast was saying to himself, look, I can afford to take one shot to win this pot, and after that I'll just, I'll try and hit my hand. You're not crazy about it.
I'm not crazy about that. I think, I'm not crazy about it. I just think his hand's disguised. I think if he peels a 3 or an 8, especially a 3, and he has the backdoor diamonds, which came into play, he could get a lot of value out of it, and once he calls, he's just kind of, Scott's a good player, right? He's going to sniff out like what's going on. And
Scott does sniff out everything, doesn't he? And in second position now, Seiver, this is pretty much how he would have drawn up the script.
And there you go again. You're flatting with 5 high out of the blind, which Rast is he's a great player, and so he wants to see flops, and I understand that. But you're taking an inferior hand, right, with 5 high, no matter what Scott has, and you're out of position, and you're getting these weird spots.
Right, and it's not a multi-table tournament.
Right.
Losing chips is dire here, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not crazy about that.
I think you're on the right track.
If you were check raising.
Oh, here's Phil, 6 high. Short stack coming in.
He's rebuilt his image, though, hasn't he? He has folded like 3 hands in a row.
Yeah, maybe. But Vanessa now, this is a weird spot because Phil's stack is not, the price to set mine's not there. I'm curious if she's going to, the thing is, she is going to call. Maybe get someone else behind to come in too. I don't know. I don't hate this, but like with the stack sizes, a little surprised.
Right, there were a couple arguments for her to 3-bet there, right?
3-bet or fold. I mean, I guess you can't really fold, but like Phil's stack is the one person you wouldn't necessarily flat there, in my mind, right? Like, say she hits to stack Phil, like he only has 150, she's gonna miss so much. But I mean, it's a multi-way flop now. Yeah.
Seat 1 check.
And who is going to win this pot? Can Laak afford to c-bet here 4 ways?
Laak is officially giving up this hand, and it's going to be Rast and Vanessa going to show up on the river, I'm pretty sure. Rast loves the flop. Phil's, again, like, telling himself, what am I doing? Why am I winning there with 6 high against the Wizards? You know? That's what he's saying.
That's what he's saying right now. That's going through his head.
For sure.
What did I do? 6 high against the Wizards. What am I doing?
She got Rast to snap fold, which is a little surprising. But again, his stack, Rast can't really get too cute there, right? He knows Vanessa's going to shell if she doesn't have it. He has 4, so even if he has the best hand, he knows he's facing a couple streets probably.
Could he pull a crazy club out of his bag? Would it work? Is there any reason for thinking it might work?
He could put Vanessa on he could. See, Phil's smart though, and he knows Vanessa's likely doesn't have much. He could do something psychotic here. I could see him making it like 68K, like something big, like really betting, but I think he's just going to release.
Because there's not really a ton of jacks in her range, is there?
There's some. I mean, she has suited Jack 9, Jack 10, Jack Queen there a lot.
I mean, she's not a lot, but like, that's definitely. Don't just say, Phil, you're going to
That's scary. She's on his left. That's a scary spot.
Okay.
Never getting ejected.
God, I just cracked my knee right.
Not lately, though. I've been getting lucky.
Every one of these players at the table, aside from Laak, of course, is going to be fairly satisfied with how things have started out.
Way above my average.
From a strategy for me, I'm trying to think who I'd ideally want to win. I maybe Seiver, right? So that he'd have 14 through 2. I don't know. I guess it depends how to look at it, but I don't know. I mean, if some of these guys that had 0, 1, and 3 get 0, 1, and 3 again, I mean, they're going to be in really bad shape. But
have you had 100%?
There's no easy rides.
Here he is again with the ace-5 off. I can't. Okay, there we go. He knew. He just decided I can't do it anymore. I'm gonna. And he would have been in a bad spot again.
It is hugely entertaining, though, isn't it?
Amazing.
And I mean, you know, the fact is, really, even Dan Shak, no matter what happens here, nobody's out of it now. It just may make it a little harder, a little easier for them. Yep. But anything can be overcome at this stage.
It is a lot of fun. This is a very interesting format. Ooh, Seiver. I know Seiver and Vanessa are good friends, I'm pretty sure.
And what do you think the idea is behind this 3-bet? I mean, what are the dynamics for it? Is that you know, he knows that Vanessa wants to get off to a good start, or, I mean, she's just not the ideal candidate to start getting into a raising war with, is she?
He knows that she's going to be opening a lot, and I think that where is he, out of the small blind?
Yeah, and it was Jungleman in the big. I mean,
it looks very strong. And Scott actually has some of the most interesting sizing. He raises like over 3 times, if not usually 4, out of position. His bet sizing when he's out of position, I noticed by playing with him, is always like
a little bit on the large side, yeah.
And it's interesting. It works pretty well. It's something I've been going with the 3 times. But this is, I mean, so what? She made it 10. Yeah, he made it 33. So yeah.
I mean, it looks like he would have done this with Ace King or better, right? Ace King or better than 8s.
He knows that she's going to be opening a lot, and I think that this is going to be interesting. I think she's going to opt to call.
Keep 7 call.
I feel like Seiver's out on a bit of a limb here. But
wow.
It's going to work perfect. Jason Koon, the first time I met him, I asked him, you know, who in the Premier League he had the most experience with, and he said to me, in my mind, Scott Seiver is the best no-limit hold'em tournament player in the world, and it's not even close between everyone else, which I thought was, you know, a strong statement. Obviously, everyone knows Seiver is among the best, but Koon says it's not even close, and that's got himself in a great spot right now. Why is he checked?
I think he's got her on a pretty. He's got her on a range 7s through 10s. I think he thinks he has.
He knows that it looks like Ace King when he checks here. I mean, he's really sowed. It's really tough to put him on a queen right now. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, I think in Vanessa's mind, I mean, she knows what he's capable of, but like unless he has Ace Queen, there's not a lot of other queens that she thinks he's probably 3-betting with. I like how he's playing this.
Yeah, he's managed to, you know, he's going to get her to walk the dog, really.
Vanessa, by betting there, she's going to earn the check here. She's probably going to check back and get that free river, and if it's an 8, she can get paid, and if not, she's probably not going to lose too much. So yeah, she's going to earn that free card on the river. She made that set of 9s in the river last time. She didn't stick around, and here it's not going to get there. So now here he has to decide, is he going to go for value?
It's a pretty big pot, 125,000. I mean, he could make a large range of bet sizes here.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, he could go fairly big. I think he knows where he's at right now, and I think he also is aware of what she thinks he has. I think they both know where they are, kind of. So it's like this should just end it. Yeah, he went for half pot.
Right. It's not great news for her calling here, by the way, because you know, she wants to stay ahead of the pack. She wants to stay, you know, keep her chips. I think if she calls and loses here, she'll probably be down to about 200K.
She's not raised. Obviously, she won't raise at this point. She's got the like call her fold face, and I think it's really close. I think it's 50-50. I don't even know.
I need a second.
Yeah, she's like spinning a coin in her head.
Yeah, and I mean, like, if it does look like a very 50-50 situation, bringing the tactics into it, she could be saying to herself, Jeff, that listen, Scott knows.
You know how much I like to call.
Right.
Huh. A lot of times, I feel like when people talk like this, though, they end up calling. They like, no, it's not like necessarily good. They want to make the call.
She says, "I've got a reputation as a calling station, and you know it."
Yeah, she's gonna call it though. Call. Yeah, she's gonna hate it.
Nice hand.
Yeah.
Should always level myself against you. That's what it looked like you had.
She said it just looked too much like that, and so I thought it couldn't be that straightforward.
Like it's very.
Yeah. And
that was a very well played hand by Scott.
I mean, he's got maximum out of her. He really took it to her, and she's frustrated with herself right now, isn't she? The stakes are huge in this Premier League contest. Heat 2 action continues in just a moment. Welcome back to Premier League Poker Season 7. Heat 2 is playing out, and Daniel Jungleman Cates is currently in the lead with 638,000. He is looking to win the maximum 14 points to jump to the top of the league table tonight. We are down to 7 players, as last season's winner, Shak, has already been sent to the rail. The next player out will be awarded just 1 point, so the pressure is certainly on our low stakes.
Here's Koon again. He's one of those hands where got to open, not really wanting to play a big pot, but ooh, he's got pipped Rast. Rast with the ace-10 suited is not going to normally fold. Because it's suited, he's just going to call instead of 3-bet.
You just got to put your cards in front, spread out.
Right. He is a man who likes to play his pots.
These are again what I'm saying. Like
he could have folded that. Brian Rast could easily have folded that.
Yeah, or 3-bet. You know, I almost like 3-betting more because like he's going to hit an ace and he doesn't know where the hell he is.
Right.
And then if he 3-bets, Koon's going to actually release the ace jack. And now here he's in a spot where, even though he does have position, right, he could win this pot when they both miss. So now here we go, Duhamel. Okay, calls. The suited queen. Right.
Duhamel is liable to re-raise at any time.
It's interesting. He actually has the most equities, 39%.
Yeah.
Ooh. No one connected here, really. I mean, the ace-jack. This is a bad spot for Koon.
In a sense, this pot's wide open. He's got the best hand, but he hates this
flop. Koon's going to take the lead here. He's got to bet, I think, to win this hand, and he knows it. I think he's going to fire a pretty good bet here, like 20, almost 2/3 pot.
And if he doesn't bet here, he's giving up, right? I mean, he's basically just giving up on the pot.
Kind of. This is a very important pot for him. He knows it, especially if he decides to continue on the hand here, and he goes for a street or two and doesn't win. It's going to be bad. So this is what I'm saying though. This is why you play a hand like the ace jack off.
17-5.
Yeah. Okay. So
C8 bet 17,500.
So he went for a half pot, which looks very strong. Now Rasty, which this is a bad flop for Rast. I mean, he's got the gutter ball. He has no club. Rast is.
He's a creative player.
He's creative, though. That's what I'm saying.
He?
This is like, by the way, when he flats the ace-10 of diamonds, that is not like I need to hit a flush or like Rast is playing position, knowing he may not even have the best hand.
Oh yeah, he played the 3-4 offsuit, you know, behind the button yesterday.
Yeah,
I mean,
it up. But like again, he had the 1 point, right? So like, it takes away a little bit of creativity. And Jason had the best hand, flopped the best hand on a scary board. Made a nice bet. It was a big pot for him.
Jason Koon certainly has a will to win. You could see that on his face, not only throughout this hand, but even getting knocked out yesterday. He just wanted to be back in here, didn't he?
Oh, yeah. It was actually, I think, really, he was one of the guys that not having a day off was huge for him, right? Because he got really unlucky and just wanted to get back in there and get it going.
Get on the horse, yeah.
What are the blinds? How many hands?
It's 21 a level, so I think, you know, this is the second level.
Halfway.
Yeah, 10 hands, and then the blinds are going to hit 3 and 6,000, and traditionally 3 and 6,000 is a bit of a decider level, you know.
Seat 1 call.
Okay, so Vanessa opens ace-jack. Again, one of those middle-y hands that are like, kind of have to open, not super ideal. And
how different is it for her, Jeff? I mean, she's open. She's got like 237,000 now. Opening that hand with 300.
Duhamel's going to just call. This is too much value. This is a perfect spot for a pair to get in there and try to hit a set. Now this is an interesting.
There's 37,000 to pick up in there. Do you think he might? Do you think he might?
I think he's going to opt to call, which I don't like really, but I don't hate. I mean, he could. This is a good spot to ship it all in. Like Vanessa's opening wide. Like unless she has ace king, like if she calls with a pair or something, and he's just going to win.
Go on, Phil Laak.
I love that. That's super strong. It looks stronger than shipping. There's a lot in there, and he's sort of committing himself. How much? 51 of his 140, but he actually would fold, I think, to a ship. But I love it. He's gonna end up.
How much more do you have, Phil? there.
Rast is just doing a little talk here. Rast is never going to risk 150 total with his stack with a pair of sixes. I think he's just trying to feel him out, but like I don't think he thinks Phil's raised folding in spot. If he re-raises Phil, I'll be super surprised, and it looks like he may do it.
And Jeff, I mean, even though, you know, Phil has played pretty wide open here and the players know that, at heart, he has a tight image.
Yeah.
No one is expecting him to have king-queen here, are they?
No, and it's a great play. This is my favorite play of the day out of anyone, and definitely for Phil. And I think Rast is going to fold. I just don't see him. He knows Phil could be squeezing, but unless he thinks that he has fold equity, Rast will not put it in, because like at best Rast is coin flipping, right? Like if Phil has 2 9s, he's just dead. If he has 8, and other than that, he has like 2 big cards. Like Phil does not have ace 5 here.
If Rast does make this play, I mean, it's a hell of a read on Phil Laak, because you know he thinks that there is fold equity.
Yeah,
perhaps.
well, no, for sure. He knows Phil is definitely does not want to get all in early, but it's just like he put 1/3 of his stack out, and is he capable of folding? And what does Rast's hand really look like? He flats. I mean, his hand to me looks like a mid pair, but you know, or like a king queen or ace jack. Wow. I don't know. I don't think Rast has been flatting though, so he could have flatted a big hand. I think he's gonna.
He knows Phil Laak pretty well, doesn't he?
Oh yeah.
Brian Rast.
Yeah,
I mean, these guys have history. Does he actually think Phil Laak is capable of making a play
He's
here?
folding. He's just folding. Fold. I think he thinks he's capable, but that was the nicest hand so far. I really like that.
That's what he does. He collects.
Plus 33K. Phil hops up 172. He's now in the mix.
Sometimes I'm not even sure what I'm doing, kid. I looked into my soul and I can't even find it. I'm like, what am I doing?
Don't try this at home. Look at Phil Laak's chip movement. It's been up. It's like a cardiogram. And of course, the 39% V chip, he's been out there. Time to hear from the infamous and entertaining Phil Laak.
My name is Phil Laak, and sometimes they call me the Unabomber, and that's my intro. Poker is an exceptionally excellent game because the rules are very simple. Everyone knows the rules, and now it's psychological and mathematical warfare. It's like a blend. I've done 4 Premier Leagues, and over time the format's morphed and changed a little bit. I love the 21 hands, the blinds go up. I love the 8-handed, I love the point system. And this year, I really love how they're mixing up the players. You get like a lot of whoosh, whoosh. So like when you make pancakes, you want to mix the batter to get a good pancake. So I think we're going to get a better pancake here. We're mixing the batter, you know? I expect to have a good time. I expect to do my best, and I won't be surprised if I make some blunders along the way.
Some of the guys post more.
Phil Laak has certainly made a few blunders so far, and is low stacked with 172,000.
I won 100%.
But it's still
there.
early
How do you
days,
think I did?
as we are just halfway through our second level.
Well, the thing is, we were commenting. You have good post-hand wraps.
Thank you.
Koon, these are a fun hand to see. Nice suited. Again, this is like a hand you can confidently raise with, but you're not looking to play a big pot. You want to go to the flop. You want to have position. You want a blind to flat you.
Best I can. I'm always just trying to live anyway.
And
it's got a nice little reload in.
You know, like see here, Seiver has a6 off, right? And he just mucks. Like that's what I would be doing. I'm not playing. I don't like whatever. You just muck it. It just doesn't play well.
In general, it feels like the raise sizes have been slightly larger in the Premier League, right? Just everyone's raising a little bit more.
Laak's folding, yes. That's a fold.
You locked them. I like that. Lock it up.
Selbst, ace 10, ace what?
I don't know. I saw
ace.
I've seen people go both ways.
Sometimes
she's playing. I'll tell you whatever card is, she's not folding.
Keep you around, you know?
I can tell you that
Stand up, take
right
a
now.
quick breath, take a
Oh,
little
it reads
stretch.
them on here?
Unless it's ace deuce off, and I still think she's
don't get a little, you know.
I was aiming with my musket, but you know, the sight's a little crooked. Couldn't quite find you in the trees.
It would be really unlikely for her to have ace jack right now, right? I mean, I guess she could.
7 bet 16,000.
Yeah, I think she has like an ace 7 or an ace 8.
She's let out.
She could have ace 10. I don't. That's possible, but
See, they call.
I'm gonna guess ace 7 suited or ace 10.
C7 check.
Oh, she had ace deuce.
Okay, yeah.
Ace deuce.
C8 check.
Suited too, yeah. She might have mucked the ace deuce off, I think. So she's gonna think she has the best hand here a lot. She's gonna have Jason now on like ace queen, ace king, I think. Pretty sure. She may even value bet. Or check call. I don't think she's gonna fold now on this board right now. Every draw, the hearts missed, the big aces missed. Jason didn't bet the turn. All right, if Jason's got a bet here, I think, and she might call. Depends how much he bets. She's scary though, right? Jason with the queen jack. Part of him saying, "Man, do I just check take?"
40,000.
Oh, and he value bet. I like that.
He bet big.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. You got to bet, but it's one of those spots where it's like not, you get check raise there, you want to puke, but she's not in a position to do it either. Her stack's small, she can't really bluff there. He knows that.
Phil Laak, Vanessa Selbst, and of course Brian Rast all have to be concerned with going out next. I guess especially Brian Rast. That's a good pot for Jason Koon, though.
Yeah, Jason. I'm telling, that was a huge hand, the ace jack off, where he was in a sandwich with Duhamel with the queen six of hearts and Rast ace 10 of diamonds on the king high all club board with him having that jack. You could tell he didn't know what to do exactly. He wasn't sure. He knew it was a big pot for him. He let out, won that pot, and now he's moving the right direction.
Fold. Out early with the king queen, and probably not going to fold that hand against the shorter stack.
Heads up. C8 check.
Question is, what happens now, of course. Not whether or not Brian Rast makes the C-bet, right? But whether or not Jason Koon decides to call for value. That's a fairly loose call by Koon. And Brian Rast has shown enough heart to fire turns. He's not going to get Koon off this with a perfect turn card for Jason. And this has gotten ugly here. Maybe Koon is understanding that Brian Rast can't really afford to start getting slippery in pots. Obviously now the decision between the value bet or just let him get it. And Rast actually has to try and decide if he wants to bluff it on the river. Not going to go for it. And I think, Jeff, that this is just sort of an example of, when you have more chips than a guy who's under pressure like Brian Rast is right now, you can be a little bit more loose with calling him because he can't bluff. He knows he can't bluff, and so does Jason Koon know that.
Yeah, and now Rast is really in a little bit of probably feeling a little queasy with 229, not going the right direction in the second one, and yeah, he starts spreading the back of his head. He's like thinking about the points every second. I think now it's.
You made a really good point before. You said there's not really one bagel, but in this format there's actually two bagels. And look at Brian Rast, Vanessa Selbst, and Phil Laak. They're very close together. One of them is going to get that 1 point.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, anything could happen, but yeah, it looks that way right now. I mean, certainly Daniel Jungleman is not going to get that, and yeah, I mean, he's been quiet, which is I think right. Yeah. It's like let the blinds go up, get your hands. People, if he picks up a hand, people still won't believe him right now anyway, just based on his image anyway. So like he's gonna sit back, hopefully get some hands, and if not, people go out, sticks around, keep 600s alive. He's sitting great.
9,000 to call.
Squeeze one card and hope I can just knock without doing any part of my hand. Show me 4 or 5.
She just call?
C7 call.
Okay. Yeah.
And
I don't love
her idea
that.
is that maybe she can, it's not just set mining Phil, but that she might get some callers behind. Is that the idea?
I think she's hoping to get position and just be heads up with Phil here. I don't know. I mean, yeah, obviously if it goes 3-4 ways, she's then going to only try to hit set. If it's just him and her heads up, she's going to plan to win the pot. She's going to try to win the pot other ways. So actually her hand here, so now all of a sudden, where was Rast on the button?
Yeah, he is.
No, is he in
and Jungleman obviously.
Oh, he's in the button. So Rast calling super wide. Oh, man. I just want to go shake Phil. I literally want to go and say, what are you doing? Is this real right now? Like, I just want to know what he's thinking.
He just marches to his own tune. And, he has never failed to do well in the Premier League. I believe He's made the final table every season he's played except for last season when he just missed out.
Man,
barely.
Here, Rast flatting the 8-9. I think that shows his confidence in his game, that he's got position. He has a very weak hand, middling hand, and he thinks he's gonna be able to outplay people, and that's what he's doing. He's sticking with his going to the flop strategy, even though it hasn't been going well. And you see, that's a nice. That's not a very good flop, but it's a pretty good flop for his hand, and sure enough, he picks it up.
After the break, we return to the Playground Poker Club here in Montreal for more action from the Party Poker Premier League.
That is what I'm talking about. I am the worst.
No idea what in the world's going on here.
Having fun. Is that what you call having fun?
I'm gonna punish you. I promise.
Oh! Shit. And the monkey at the back. I waited, I trapped him, I checked behind, I free bet, I did everything right. And if it's a jack or a 10, something's getting broken.
I'm ready to die. You're not ready to die.
No.
Turn an ace to end this race, yo.
Yeah! Yeah! Yeah!
David Benjamin is the Premier League champion.
Let's get back to the table with your commentators Jesse May and Jeff Gross.
Premier League Poker Playground Poker Club here in Montreal. $100,000 guarantee going on in the background and $125,000 buy-in front and center.
Oh yeah.
Seiver's got a nice game going here today. He's got to be feeling really good, and I don't know if Daniel's even paying attention at this point. He's just hanging out, and he's happy, I think, with his stack, obviously.
C-Day praise 11,000 full.
I wonder if Phil Laak is just saying, listen, it's what I'm going to do is so illogical that no one could ever believe that I'd do it. But I
don't know what he's doing.
It's not working. It's not working so far.
I don't know. I love him though. I just love him. So it's like,
he's the one thing he's never boring to watch, is he?
No, he's
and he is a great poker mind. I mean, he is a great.
He's
poker
won
mind.
consistently over the years, and you'll hear Antonio say, "How do you win at poker?" and he means that, which is funny. And they're like, we're all great friends. But I play with Phil in cash games and other spots, and I have respect for Phil. I just I don't know what he's doing today.
C5 check. C-Day check.
Les Koon.
Probably a pair of deuces that Jason Koon has here, right?
Where's he? What
my
position's
guess.
he in? I don't see it.
He opened up in third position in the hijack. Got flatted by Duhamel in the big line.
He has deuces 100% of the time here, unless he has ace deuce, which he wouldn't have ace deuce off because ace of spades is out there, so he has deuces.
I'd say it's almost for sure the deuce of clubs, in fact, because that was the culprit with Vanessa Selbst.
And Seiver had a deuce of hearts. So it looks like that's what we're deciding. Yeah.
Fold.
Never know.
Jason, I don't think they like you very much. Because I saw him holding his cards like this.
No, but I showed it to the camera.
Vanessa looks, her body language looks a little frustrated.
Do you think she's maybe still upset about that call with Scott Seiver?
Make sure the camera sees it, and then
because that was pretty significant. And
yeah, but she knew. She literally was 50-50 there, and it was. I'm not sure. I think that might be a little bit of a.
It
might have thrown her off a little. She is too good. She'll rebound. So for sure, the next pot she plays, the 20-30,000 up or down is huge for her. Mentally, she's going to be a whole new person if she gets up to 240, 230. If she's down to 170, she's going to. I think you'll see her visibly upset her.
I mean, if I remember correctly, she did have quite a poor start to last time she played Premier League, and maybe she just.
Oh, I didn't know she played this before.
2 seasons ago she played.
Okay,
and,
so she's familiar with that.
Yeah, and she may really recognize the importance of having a good start in this.
Oh wow, Jungleman's been quiet, gets the top of his range. Oh, it looks like Phil's just got nothing. He's not going to go again. His hand should be over.
If I like to defend as much as you like to defend, I would probably defend with that.
That's unfortunate for Jungleman.
My God.
He showed the aces. He showed it, it looks like.
I think so. How good are we?
There's the Jungleman giggle.
3 best players at the table right there were Phil Laak, and Scott Seiver, Brian Rast.
We all dodged the pain.
We all just dodged that pain.
How did we dodge that jungle? We saw you through the ropes.
I waited till on the small on the button, so I.
Wow, that was. Did you see him roll?
Yeah, I know.
Rolled in.
Yeah. I actually, they couldn't at least have gotten a read on me. I knew that. I'll sleep good about that.
Stone cold read from the dealer dealing the cards.
That was
That's
insane.
sick. I can't do that. so
I've raised with that hand. I just decided not to defend.
I feel like a subset of like aces is just aces on the button, 9-handed. Because like you don't only get aces one sided every 221 hands or whatever. But then like you only get on the button like 1 and a 9 of those times. So that's
true. Our 7 in this case.
It's really sad.
Yeah, that was your chance to just bring home the bacon.
I don't know what's going on. This must be, the cards must be wrong.
Jungleman philosophy. Oh, with
That's pretty good, right?
So Laak has.
He's gonna win this hand though.
Have you ever met a
I like that. You know the funny part is that he shows the aces, right, and then he comes in for an open. Like if he doesn't show, Laak may not. You know, Laak's like, oh, he just had aces. Like how could he have a hand? Like that's probably his reasoning. It's like say Jungle doesn't show, he might not do that though.
Air's fresh.
Air is free and fresh.
You can hide.
You can hide.
When you're in the tank, you can't hide.
You can't hide in the tank.
You have to just battle.
You just go to battle with your tank all the time. So sometimes, you know, even a tank guy wants to go into the woods with his tank.
But he can't. He can.
A little bit.
Things aren't going well. You just want to chill for a while.
See, Jungle's in a tank. Everyone sees him right here.
He's in tank mode.
Jungle's got a tank, and you know he's showing it. But see some well-timed arrows.
Uh-oh, this is a hand that Duhamel is going to want to play probably against Jungleman in position for a 3-bet.
The tank.
It'll be interesting to see how Jungleman decides to play this. He has a lot of chips.
Very interesting. He's not folding.
Wow, is Vanessa?
She's thinking that this is but you see that's a difference too. She's thinking consciously, like she has a queen-8 off, but to her that's a spot. It's not, oh, I have queen-8 off. So like she was really seriously considering 4-betting. She was maybe thinking of 4-bet jamming.
I mean, she's got a history for it. Yeah. When she sits there and thinks about 4-bet jamming, you know she's really considering it.
So what did he just called, right?
Yeah, he peeled.
Yep. That's the problem with peeling. With the ace-queen, such a plays so terribly. And now he's checking to see if he has a diamond. And Duhamel just outflops him in his position, and this is going to be.
Can't wait. I'm going to lock up 6th place after this hand.
Very fortunate little thing for Duhamel. It would have been interesting if it came like 8 high or 9 high or all rags, how this would go. I think this board Jungleman's not going to like, but he may continue for one.
Duhamel surprised a lot of people last season. I mean, he just played so well in the Premier League. The final table didn't go so well. Wow, that was
3 out. What a card.
Bam.
Now, Jungleman, though, is going to be a little cautious here. I think he thinks, you know, that's a nice card for him, obviously, but he's going to be a little cautious.
And Duhamel has got a big enough hand to sort of check behind, right? I mean, he knows that card.
Yeah, it's obviously like one of the 2 or 3 just worst cards in the deck. All right.
Duhamel's probably feeling pretty unlucky here because he wins the pot if they both miss, for sure.
He's going to check, I think. He's not value betting this.
C5 check.
I just lay the tarpon. They never fall into it.
Ace 10.
Ace queen.
You win.
You check back jacks, not cute.
Kings. No, ace jack. Ace jack.
Ace jack, he says.
No, that's just too obvious. that just makes me very confident in my check.
You sure that if you bet a river, I'm going to fold?
That's true, yeah.
Okay.
That's the thing about checking, right? If you have jacks, you're obviously not going to fold, but if you have jacks, I get to check raise, and now you're like, what the
Jungle,
fuck?
it's on you.
Seiver just loves getting them. Like whenever he can, like he wouldn't say that to anyone else.
If it was on you, how do you fold? You would fold because you realize this big blind, there's power emanating from behind.
A lot of power.
Okay, Phil's officially gone. Huh? This is official. This is actually officially.
Hold it. You're saying that in the first 41 hands, you didn't know yet that he'd lost the flop?
I knew, but this is
for you to know he'd lost the flop?
No, but this is official. This is like a statement. This is like, all right,
I've lost the plot.
100%.
I've lost the plot.
And look at Rasty. Rasty is singled them out. They're very good friends, and Rasty just wants to play pots with Phil.
How many more hands do we have till break?
I know
9-10 off, defending.
2 hands?
Is it possible that Phil really wants everyone to sort of, because he knows that later on they'll be checking the updates and that he's going to have this image for the next 3 heats? They'll know how crazy he was? Is that even remotely possible?
I don't think so. I just think he's gone a little bananas.
He's in a spot right now where this is a big pot. He's in a bit of trouble. He actually needs to be. Did that card save him?
Oh,
Can he now barrel his way out of it?
No, Rast has the 9 high diamonds. He knows Phil. He probably thinks he knows Phil would check back an ace here.
Right.
I think Phil would check an ace because he'd pot control, whatever. He bets he's bluffing, and I think Rast will sniff it out. And he's gonna bluff.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. This doesn't.
That looks.
Now it can't be an ace.
It shouldn't be, but I mean, he bet how much? He bet 39.
Wow. Rast might sniff this out.
Yeah, I see Rast sniffing it out, but it's a bit. It looks bluffy to me. I think if I'm playing Phil, I don't think he's betting an ace here. Especially with the flush, it's like Phil. The flush gets there. Phil has no fear, right? Like if he has an ace, you have too much value in the hand. Like the board's paired.
So what is the minimum hand that Laak would bet for value here? Is it 3 6s even, or does it have to be a flush or better, or is it aces with the king of diamonds, or what is the minimum?
Yeah, like even an ace with like a jack of diamonds, I just think he's checking, right? Because like he's gonna try to induce Rast to bluff, or like if he's beat, minimize the pot. So like I think Rast is gonna play.
Wow. And Brian Rast.
And by play, it might be raised, by the way.
He is good enough. He is good enough to make this move.
For sure. And
it's.
Look at him. He's checking him out, doing the chip dance. He's got all the tricks. He folded. Wow. He wanted it. His instincts were there.
I mean, I had a jungle kind of hand. From the beginning, all I could think of was this is a jungle.
Everyone
not
knew.
for sure bluffing.
Rast knew.
You're probably bluffing.
Well, okay, what did you do yesterday on bluffs?
Huh?
What did you do yesterday on bluffs? Okay.
What a start to Heat 2. Phil Laak has been the most active, but despite the entertainment, he's the short stack. Jungleman and Scott Seiver, the chip leaders, winning the big pots, but with the blind still low, Brian Rast, Vanessa Selbst, Jonathan Duhamel, and Jason Koon still have time to ladder up.
Phil did commentary for Heat 1, and you said kind of over and over again that maybe Tight was right. Maybe you should really be, playing only premium hands. And then we watched you come in here, and that is not what you're doing.
Well, the cherry bomber sometimes gets a hold of me, and it's a constant battle. And right now, he's sort of got the reins. Trust me, I'm trying to pull him in. I know it's right to pull him in, but right now he's gotten loose. I don't know.
Do you think it might affect the way people play against you in future heats? If they go back and they watch or read some of these updates?
I don't know. It's so circular. I guess they're all going to find out that I had that junk can here and there, huh?
Here and there.
Well, that's the nature of poker, Eventually it gets found out. Whatever. Let's gamble,
Next time here in Montreal, Canada, Heat 2 continues with more explosive action here at the Party Poker Premier League VII.
Yes, I won one versus Phil. Not Tupperware tight. We're talking, Ziploc bag inside of Tupperware.
You can't stop the jungle.
And that's really next level collusion right there.
Sorry, buddy. Made for TV. Just made for TV.